You had said that for getting into like your body, you were like, you know, I'm looking to, my head is small compared to the rest of me and I need to balance it out. Have you ever, so you brought it up, have you ever done anything to balance it out? Have you ever noticed something, or maybe you put some clothes on and you're like, my head looks a little like out of proportion, let me change that?
Yes, I mean, I look at pictures when I was a teenager, right, and real thin, and then it looks much more balanced. Like now that I'm like big in the middle, then I definitely have to pay more attention to it. And I think what I've noticed, like the long lines, the long vertical lines, it tends to kind of, you know, especially if I have them running down like here, like way down, then it kind of like just comes here.
Is there anything you've done to minimize your midsection? I mean, I don't mean from working out. Well, a lot of times when I ask that question, my clients are like, I should stop drinking wine. I'm like, that's not what I mean. I mean from a style perspective. It's okay if you haven't done anything.
Yes, I've actually paid attention to it. It's like not have the horizontal lines where I'm fattest, you know, at my hips. And I tend to, rather than have a high waist, like, you know, like have long shirts or long, you know, like long t-shirts or long sweaters, whatever, so they go below my hip. But what else do I do? Oh, and the empire style, of course, with the dresses.
Well, great. Let's talk about that. Alrighty, my friend. So 2 things.
Oh, an A-line, right? A-line.
A-line is great. We're going to talk about empire, and we're going to talk about long shirts. Okay, empire style dresses or empire style dresses. You know how they are, right? You've got your top, your bodice, some sort of little elastic immediately beneath your bust, right? And then the dress floats down. What are you not wearing when you're wearing those dresses?
A bra.
You have in the past, but I want you to not do this in the future. You cannot wear an empire style dress without a bra, because it is 100% focused on creating a distinction between your bust and the rest of you. The dress can't do it by itself. It needs some help. It will absolutely change the silhouette of those dresses. I mean, they're already a very distinct silhouette, but you want your bust to be at a certain place on your body, and any small amount of garment, again, not the straitjacket effect, will help that, maintain that, and create a line.
How do people do it when it's like 100 degrees outside?
You just do it.
How can I wear like a bra or anything? I mean, I have like the thinnest layer of silk, and that's all. It's like I can't even imagine to have like a tank top or anything under a bra. It's like I'm gonna die.
I mean, I do it in 115. It literally doesn't bother me. Yeah, I mean, you just do. But now here's the thing. If you buy those like camisole style bras that are like a bra but not a full camisole, you can get them in a breathable cotton, you know, so that the only synthetic part will be the elastic band that is around, or like perhaps in the straps. A breathable fabric will make a difference. We're actually doing this at a good time period because it's cooling down, as you know, for the fall. So you can get used to wearing this while it's cool, so that you'll be comfortable wearing these bras once it starts to get warm again. So there's some options there for you. But the heat is, the struggle is real. It's just something you gradually, you just get used to it like anything else. So, long shirts. You said you wear long shirts that go down to below your hip.
Yeah, down to the hip or below the hip.
So that is part of the fit discussion, is that your midsection can be minimized through other stylistic techniques that do not involve hiding it beneath a long shirt. Your shirts should hit at the top of your like hip bone. So roughly, I know you don't wear jeans, but like where a pocket would fall on your pants if you were wearing said jeans, that's kind of like a one way to look at it. It's basically like right where before your, like the top of your hip bone is the front of you, and it's before your butt begins in the back of you, if that makes sense.
Right. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the shirt is fine hitting there, and it's not going to call attention to your midsection if it's a proper fit, if it's a good color, if it's
Mm-hmm.
style. But wearing it too long will detract from the overall outfit and detract from the proportions you're trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
And what we tend to do is, because I would argue, we'll see this when we do part 2. Most of your shirts are probably too big for you in one of 2 ways or both ways. One, you're wearing them because you can't really wear things that fit because you're not wearing a bra, and you're wearing them long because you're wearing them long for all the reasons you discussed. And so when you pull up the shirt, literally when it hits you at the proper length, what's going to happen, Gitta, is that we're going to see more of your legs. And when we see more of your legs, you look taller. When you look taller, you literally look like there's less weight distributed on the same frame. It thins you out just by virtue of all those other things. And the way I describe it is, if you had 2 people of the exact same height next to each other, the one that appears to have the longer legs will always look taller than the other one. That's because we equate, just subconsciously, long legs equals overall height.
Yeah.
So you're throwing off your proportions by wearing shirts that are too long. I love the use of long necklaces with layering pieces because, and you nailed it when you said it, the long vertical lines. I call that creating the column of interest. When you're wearing a longer layering piece and you've got like a shirt on here and then the necklace, it causes the viewer to do this and go up and down, creating a lengthening effect just by visual distraction. It's like smoke and mirrors. People don't know that you're doing it, but you know that you're doing it. And it's great because you're creating all this vertical alignment, which helps create the illusion of height and length. But we don't want your shirts to be too long. We need the world to know that you have a waist, because when you have a waist, that's where the legs begin.
Okay. Just as a starting point for the legs.
Yep, exactly.